What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Halfchrome, and this is the BetaFPV Meteor75 Pro with the DJI 04 air unit installed. And this is a fantastic little drone, and it almost became the last drone I ever flew. I'll tell you a little bit about that, and I'll tell you about this drone, who I think it's for. I think this thing is fantastic, but it's definitely not for everybody. Stay tuned, we'll learn a little bit about it. So first, let's talk about what I have here, right? It is a 75 Pro, but it's actually 80 millimeters motor post to motor post. So it's actually a little bit larger than a traditional 75, right? This is a traditional 75 millimeter drone. So you can see it's a little bit bigger, which means I can have bigger propellers, which means I have a little bit more power and a little bit more flight time. So that's why we're doing that. Plus with this HD VTX here, it's a little bit heavier, so that extra size in the propellers is nice. So it weighs 37.7 grams, at least on my scale, and that's not bad. We've got some larger motors. These are 1102 22,000 kV motors, and these are 45 millimeter props. So that's what we got going on here. This is a new 3-in-1 flight controller, 12 amp ESC. It is 1S only. We've got, of course, a BT 2.0, kind of that right angle pigtail here. These motors are plugged, so they're easy to swap if you have to do that. The camera here is mounted on isolation dampeners, so that's good for a couple of things and not for some others. It is adjustable, right? So you can move that angle a little bit, which is kind of nice. If you're going to record video, it's going to record right on board this DJI unit, and it has a 5-volt BEC built in, right? So one of the problems that some drones have when you're flying with this digital system is when you punch out, the battery sags and you lose power. That doesn't happen with this, which is really pretty nice. Now this is actually the second review I've done of an 80 millimeter 75 with DJI 04. So if you want to see how it compares to this is the Happy model, Mobula 7 with the 04. I'll do a video comparing these two things, but I really want to focus on this one here. Now, because it is only going to fly on a 1S, this thing is fantastic if you're going to fly around inside. And that is what got me in trouble. So it's great. I usually fly around in my basement, and I do that. I have a couple of hoops. I fly under the ping pong table, under the bar. It's a good old time, but, you know, I like to take this thing from the basement to the first floor to the second floor to, you know, make sure that I can see on all 3 levels. The VTX can do that, but I saw my wife, and she doesn't usually like when I'm flying a drone, and my dog also doesn't usually like when I'm flying a drone. And as I was flying by my wife, my dog jumped up, tried to eat the drone, knocked the drone into my wife's hair, where it then was tangled, and I was in trouble. Don't fly drones around people. It's generally not a good idea. And don't fly them around your wife, especially if she has long hair, because it will get stuck and it will get tangled, and she may or may not have had to cut some of her hair because it crimped it or whatever. So that was bad news. I was in the doghouse for a while, but I'm back, and I still have the drone, and I'm still gonna fly. Now you can fly this thing outside as well, but make sure you don't have wind. I tried to fly this on a windy day, did not go well. I took it out again on a couple of different days where, you know, early in the morning where the wind was not an issue, and it's fun. You can fly acro with this thing. I really do enjoy it, but I think this thing really excels if you're looking for something you can fly inside and have that great picture. Now, I don't think this DJI 04 unit is suited for professional work, and if you're going to fly it outside, especially on sunny days, you're going to get some jello. You don't have as much jello inside, just kind of the way that the jello happens It's going to happen on sunny days. A lot of times people use ND filters to kind of cut through that. And I don't know that I can get an ND filter on here with this canopy, but there are different ways. BetaFPV recognizes that there is jello in this, and that's because of these soft mounts. They say to make sure that this cable here isn't touching the canopy. That helps create jello. Make sure that these screws aren't super tight. That helps alleviate some of that. Make sure you're not flying on super windy days, but sometimes jello will just happen. So another potential solution is to change the canopy and use a hard mount, something similar to the Mobula 7, but without those rubber isolation dampeners, you're not going to be able to use gyro data to stabilize the footage, so something you have to consider. When you get this thing, one suggestion I have is to throw a little dab of glue. I use E6000 right over the UFL connector. That's really important because if that pops off, it could overheat the VTX, and it's $110. That's expensive. That's just one way to kind of protect it. Inside Betaflight, I always add crash recovery. It just kind of helps me. Listen, I made a video when I talked about the Mobula 7, the 9 things I changed. I think that is the same for this guy. So if you want to see that, there's a link in the description to that. You can check that out as well. So you can buy this thing pre-built for $200, or you can spend, I think it's $80 for this without the air unit. The air unit's $110. Honestly, if you're going to do that, just buy this, have it come pre-built. You don't want to deal with the headache. Originally, I did buy them separately, and I put it together, and whatever, it took me 20 minutes, wasn't a big deal, but my camera wasn't plugging properly. I was getting an error. I unplugged it, plugged it back in. I bent one of the pins. I shorted out the flight controller, right? So, you know, that was me, right? That was my fault, but not something you want to deal with. So anyway, I'm going to build another one. I ordered another flight controller, and the thing that's nice is they have a lot of different colored frames and props, so you can really kind of customize these things. So that's cool. And I'm going to do that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If it was, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And again, if you want to see how does the Happy model compare to this guy, the BetaFPV, let me know, right? Let me know what you want to know about these things, because I'm going to get into that. Thanks for watching. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.